And Mark, you know, when interviews with you and I know each other, and we've known each other for many, many years, but there's always a little bit of a joke goes with, oh, Mr. Pothole, oh, this is a bit funny and whatever. And it's not funny. It's not funny at all. And what's more is, I don't see any evidence that somebody's even trying to make things better.
I agree, Eamon, and we are at we've gone past breaking point. You can see by the state of the roads. And you're quite right about government. The announcement of the £8.3 billion, enough to resurface 5,000 miles of road from the court cancellation of northern leg of HS2, put into perspective, is only enough over an 11-year period to resurface 2.5% of England and Wales roads, when over 20% need major investment resurfacing now. And if we don't do anything in the next 15 years, 53% of our road network will be structurally unsound, and therefore it could potentially lethal for cyclists and those on two wheels, and cause, you know, untold billions of damage to road users. So yes, it's a joke. There's no will in authorities to seem to want to do anything about it. We're on about a managed decline. I don't accept that. I think it's just a case where you haven't focused on the asset that our road network is.
It is a perfect storm, isn't it? I mean, we had, the wettest February since records began in the 1800s, and we know what wet weather does to our roads. We've had an unseasonably mild March so far, but all it takes is a frost here and there, and these potholes get even worse. You know, we've got this sort of strange weather now, which is a little bit all over the place, these relentless storms, and as you say, not enough funding.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, but, you know, I get fed up with the weather getting blamed. You know, other countries have more excessive weather than us, you know, in Scandinavia, for example. It's a case where our roads haven't maintained, because a well-maintained road doesn't get affected nowhere near as much by the weather itself, unless the government invests in a multi-billion-pound resurfacing programme year on year, not just for 5 years, not just for 10 years, 25 years, like places like Japan, and look at the asset it is, and then reinvest some of the over £50 billion that they take in from road users from top to taxation into the network, then we are in a situation where, I mean, God forbid what's going to be like in 5 or 10 years' time. I mean, I've joked before about getting a tank. I mean, I may be forced to do so.
The system, Mark, I think needs a big look at as well. People think they pay their road tax, and their road tax goes towards maintaining roads. And of course, these things don't. They're given a title which has nothing to do with where the money goes. The money goes to the NHS or the Defence Forces or whatever it happens to be. So road tax is not for roads. And that's a bit of a con, I would say. So who is responsible for the roads?
I mean, local roads are responsibility of the normally local council or highways authority. National roads, motorways and major trunk roads are responsible of national highways. And I've never seen them so bad. I mean, potholes on motorways, never heard of before. In terms of funding, you're quite right. Perhaps we need to rethink the whole thing and do like other countries, where a road tax is a road tax to be spent on our roads. Because we're stuck in this historical thing, you know, doing the same thing the same way and not getting the right result, I think is madness, and we need to completely overhaul. So whatever government comes in at the next election, if they don't make this as a priority, then I think they will fail the UK public, and they will be sorely thought of by the taxpayer.
The science and technology obviously is not up to scratch as well. You and I have talked before how that needs to be looked at. But at the end of the day, this is not a concern for the Chancellor. This is not a concern for the Prime Minister. I don't know who this is a concern for.
I was just reading it that local councils have increased their budget to spend on highway maintenance by 2.3% in the financial year 2023 to 2024. But because of inflation, that's meant a real terms cut. And local authorities expect to fix 2 million potholes in this financial year. That's up 43% on the previous 12 months.
But it's up 43% on nothing.
Because there's more potholes.
No, it's just nothing. They haven't been doing it, and therefore you can't say it's up by 23% or whatever. I mean, it's just the usual lies peddled by politicians. You've got a problem here, you know what to do about it if you are serious, and we're not serious about it. I always remember years ago travelling to the USA and thinking, my God, this is a third world country, because the roads were so bad. And we continually go down this American format of we don't supply services, like whether that's the health service or road service or police service or whatever. And surely it's not the way to go, Mark.
No, long-term investment and asset planning. Interesting you say. I was involved in a Transport Select Committee inquiry that reported back in 2019, a report called Fill in the Gap. That was some excellent work by cross-party members, and all the answers are in there, really, and it got lip service from Grant Shapps, and it's sitting on a shelf somewhere in Whitehall. I have no faith in politicians, government, to actually do anything at all now. I mean, it's 11 years this year I've been campaigning. Yes, I've had some tremendous successes. You know, I've had millions of pounds of resurfacing work. I've issued legal notices, on councils to get works carried out, thousands of potholes repaired. And I try to help people I can. I was particularly touched by the story of the 101-year-old lady in Somerset, so I've spoken to them about if I can help them in some way. So I want to try and keep on doing my bit, but the appetite of government just isn't there. And Sunak needs to come out with me for a ride, and I'll show him the real problems in our roads.
He doesn't want to see them because then he'll have to spend money. He'll have to make some sort of promise about all of this. Who are you most disappointed in all the years? I mean, the fact that we've got to an 8-year high on this. And I think that politicians at whatever level, local authority or national level, they tell lies. They absolutely dodge the question. Instead of saying, look, Mark, we just don't have the money for this, and that's the way it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. If someone at least was honest with you, you could begin to deal with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's smoke and mirrors, and the games, they spin so much it's faster than a Spitfire's propeller. And you're quite right, but I don't accept there's no money. They find money for things that they want to spend on that, me and you disagree on HS2. I mean, £66 billion to build a road track that won't go in central London, never, to Upton, Birmingham, when our roads networks are failing. To me, it's like putting an extension on the outskirts of silence. But there's loads of examples where government can find money where it wants to, but it's not a priority for them. On the other side, every time you have a repair on your vehicle, because they get 20% VAT, don't they?
Yeah, they do, yeah. There's a game in everything. And the whole idea, you mentioned HS2 there, we take the pressure, we don't put a lot of the cargoes on the rails, therefore that goes on the roads. Trucks are too heavy, too big. We talk about weather. It's nothing to do with weather. It's got to do with, the amount of traffic on the roads. There are too many cars and there are too many heavy goods vehicles as well. We could go on and on, unfortunately, Mark, but we're out of time. One last word to say that how are we going to turn this around, or are we not? What would you say to people?
Well, I think people, when it comes to the election, you've got a perfect opportunity to make your prospective MP aware that it's a major issue and whoever party needs to address it now. It's a perfect opportunity, and I will keep pushing up until the election to really make that message heard.